Let's dive right into this explainer and explore how human history is so much more than just a random list of dates to memorize. It's actually this incredible, accelerating arc of progress and profound, sweeping shifts. Today, we're looking at Alan Dotchin's truly fascinating compilation of 100 major events that completely changed the world. And you know, when you lay them all out, this amazing pattern emerges. The gaps between these earth-shattering milestones just get smaller and smaller as we move forward in time. To wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this, we've broken our journey today down into 5 chapters: Foundations of Human Civilization, the Age of Revolutions, the Tumultuous 20th Century, the Modern Millennium, and finally, Cultural and Social Landmarks.
Chapter 1: Foundations of Human Civilization, the Slow Dawn of Progress. Starting way back in the ancient world, monumental shifts in how we lived, how we talked to each other, and how we governed ourselves, well, they took a really long time to happen, often centuries or even millennia. We jump from the Sumerians figuring out cuneiform writing around 3200 BCE, all the way to the birth of Athenian democracy in 508 BCE. And then, it's almost another 2,000 years before Johannes Gutenberg invents the printing press in 1440 CE. Each one of these massive milestones took thousands of years of slow, generational development.
It's actually kind of wild to compare these two breakthroughs. Cuneiform was incredible because it gave us the very first permanent records, but it was basically confined to just a handful of scribes. Gutenberg's press, on the other hand, an absolute game changer. It allowed for the mass production of books. We're talking about the literal start of the information age, laying down the groundwork for the modern spread of knowledge.
So you gotta ask yourself, how did nailing down these basic pillars of communication and governance set the stage for the crazy explosion of ideas that came next? Well, once we could reliably record our thoughts and govern as a collective, the launchpad was officially built for human advancement to just take off.
Chapter 2: The Age of Revolutions, Science, Industry, and Rights.
Okay, entering the 16th to 18th centuries, the wait time between major milestones shrinks drastically, and nothing illustrates this better than the intellectual earthquake of the scientific revolution. Before 1543, everybody broadly accepted that Earth was the center of the universe, period. But then Copernicus introduces heliocentrism. Sorry, Earth, you're not the center of everything. This didn't just change astronomy, it fundamentally shifted how we saw our place in the cosmos, and it directly helped spark the Enlightenment.
And this new way of thinking? It spread like wildfire, triggering a rapid succession of democratic births and the sharp decline of monarchies, all squeezed into just a few decades. The dominoes fall incredibly fast here. The American Revolution establishes a modern democratic state, immediately followed by the French Revolution's rise of republicanism, and right on its heels, the Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1804, which is just a monumental moment in human rights, as the first successful slave revolt.
Now, while governments were flipping upside down, the Industrial Revolution was physically rewiring societies step by step. In the 1760s, James Watt's steam engine and the spinning jenny completely revolutionized labor and transportation. And within barely a century, this mechanical era peaks with Alexander Graham Bell's telephone and Thomas Edison's light bulb in the late 1870s. Suddenly, the world is connected by wires and lit up by electricity.
Chapter 3: The Tumultuous 20th Century. The pace accelerates.
Hitting the 1900s, the pacing goes into overdrive. It is incredibly rapid and volatile. We're talking massive geopolitical reshuffling happening in mere decades, not centuries. You see the devastating reality of a globally connected world, the unprecedented scale of 2 world wars, the global human rights reckoning after the Holocaust, the terrifying dawn of the nuclear age in 1945, right up to the collapse of communist regimes in Eastern Europe, marked by the fall of the Berlin Wall in '89. History was literally being rewritten almost daily.
Yet, right in the thick of all that intense Cold War tension, one single year stands out as a beacon: 1969. The moon landing wasn't just a win for technology. It was the moment we finally stepped foot on another celestial body. It completely redefined the limits of what was possible for our species.
At the exact same time, the 20th century was dramatically expanding civil rights and redrawing the global map. We see democratic rights surge through the global women's suffrage movement. Huge shifts in sovereignty with the independence of India and the creation of Israel in the late 40s. And of course, major, hard-fought strides in racial equality, from the U.S. civil rights movement sparking in '55 to the profound end of apartheid in South Africa in 1994.
So, As the 20th century closes out and gives the public the internet in the 90s, we have a really vital question. We had the physical infrastructure, and now we had the digital infrastructure. How would this instantaneous global connection completely reshape the next millennium?
Chapter 4: The Modern Millennium, the Digital and Global Era.
Welcome to the 21st century, where world-changing events are happening years or even just months apart. We're seeing the immediate consequences of being completely plugged into one another. An event in one spot instantly ripples across the entire planet. The 9/11 attacks altered global politics overnight. The 2008 financial crisis created a worldwide economic shockwave. The COVID-19 pandemic triggered an unprecedented global health crisis, while systemic social movements like Black Lives Matter and major conflicts like the 2022 invasion of Ukraine instantly grabbed the global consciousness. We are more tied together than ever before.
And if we follow that communication through line from earlier, just look at how fast technology compounds today. We go from the internet becoming public in the 90s to smartphones in 2007, changing literally everything about daily life. And then, boom, just 15 years later, we jump straight into the era of generative AI, with tools like ChatGPT fundamentally transforming human creativity and problem solving. It's moving so fast.
Chapter 5: Cultural and Social Landmarks, the Fabric of Humanity. Let's take a quick step back from the heavy geopolitics and rapid tech for a second. Our shared culture is this constantly evolving fabric that brings us together. You have the widespread publication of the Bible, the artistic explosion of the Renaissance, the incredible international unity of reviving the Olympic Games in 1896, and jumping to the 20th century, we get the absolute explosion of global pop culture, perfectly captured by the Beatles, alongside the massive rise of Hollywood and film.
It's super fascinating to compare these eras. The 20th century media revolution was very top-down, driven by massive studios like Hollywood and Disney globalizing entertainment. But the 21st century, with the launch of YouTube and the unbelievable influence of TikTok today, it's a total democratization of content. Culture isn't just broadcasted to us anymore. It's created by us, instantly, everywhere, all at once.
Seeing the breathtaking, compounding pace of everything we've just covered, you really have to pause and wonder, what massive events are we living through right now? What's happening today that's going to be studied centuries from now?
Well, tomorrow's history is already here. It's tackling climate change, which has emerged as arguably the top global issue of our century. It's happening in biology, where CRISPR gene editing opens doors to genetic manipulation we used to think was impossible. It's up in the stars, with the James Webb Space Telescope peering back into the early universe, and Mars rovers paving the way for interplanetary exploration. The acceleration of human progress shows absolutely zero signs of stopping.
And that brings us to a really profound realization, summed up perfectly by the theme of this compilation. The history of the world is still being written, and the pace is faster than ever. We aren't just passively studying the past. We are actively living through the next major epoch right this very second. Every single day, the gap between major breakthroughs gets shorter.
So, as you reflect on this incredible, accelerating arc we've traced throughout this explainer, from cuneiform tablets all the way to generative AI, I want to leave you with this thought. The acceleration continues. What massive breakthrough, what sudden revolution, or what bold discovery do you think is going to make the next list of 100? Keep your eyes open, because history is happening right now.